the third kind.
Welcome to Theories of the Third Kind. My name is Aaron. The other host joining me today is Daniel.
Hello.
All right, well, before we start today's episode, we do have a couple announcements.
If you would like to support the show, you can do so by joining our premium subscription service, Supercast. For just $6.66 a month, you can enjoy weekly premium audio episodes and access to our extensive back catalog of over 218 premium episodes that are all ad-free.
Or if you are a baller, big baller, shot caller, right, 20-inch blades on your Impala, like for Troy, then you can sign up for $9.99 and get our premium exclusive video content along with the audio. So audio is $6.66. Audio and video is $9.99.
Exclusive.
So you can sign up to that by going to our website, theoriesofthethirdkind.com. And right there in the middle, there's going to be a button that says Supercast. Right there on our website. You click on it. It's going to take you over, and you can sign up. Or if you're watching us on YouTube, there's going to be a little button on the bottom. You click on it. Or if you're listening to us in the show notes, it should say, become a premium subscriber. And you can click on it, and it'll take you over there. You do all that, signing up and stuff.
Now, we know things are tough out there right now, so if you can't afford a premium membership, but you want to help us out still, then you can leave us a written review on iTunes or Spotify.
That helps us out a lot.
However, don't feel pressure to leave us one. If you don't want to, then that's fine. We just want you guys, girls, aliens, reptilians, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, chupacabras, ghosts, Illuminati members, underground lizard people, whoever or whatever you are, to enjoy the show. Also, remember, our content is entirely human-made. No AI has been harmed or involved in the process.
Except for graphics.
Except for graphics.
A little bit. We started using AI programs for graphics. I mean, they're not entirely AI. What we'll do is we'll take them and we'll modify them ourselves in Photoshop. But besides that, everything else, research, show notes, everything,
I mean, what do you want to
all
add?
done by humans.
Yeah, if you want to just add a little quick something to a photo, I mean, Photoshop has.
Yeah, even Photoshop has an AI thing now where you just highlight an area and you type in what you want.
I always messed it up.
I know.
That's okay. I guess I'm not specific. Whatever.
And that is the end of the announcements. So today's episode is the Great Sheep Panic of 1888.
Sheep.
Now, before we get into that, we are going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. This episode is sponsored by Mint Mobile.
You know, I love a great deal as much as the next guy, but I'm not going to crawl through a bed of hot coals, burning my butt off just to save a few bucks.
Where it's singeing your butthole hairs.
That's right. Shiny buttholes, there's no hair there.
Exactly.
It has to be easy. No hoops, no BS.
No bullshit.
No bullshit.
And I know exactly what you mean. I don't deal with that BS. So when I heard Mint Mobile said it was easy to get wireless for $15 a month with the purchase of a 3-month plan, I decided to pull up on their ass. Pull out my phone and see if they were about that life. And it turns out they really were. It is really that easy to get wireless for $15 a month.
The longest part of the process was the time I spent on hold waiting to break up with my old provider.
So to get started, all you got to do is go to mintmobile.com/theories. There, you'll see that right now, all 3-month plans are only $15 a month, including the unlimited plan. Just do it!
All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network.
Largest 5G!
You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile. With any Mint Mobile plan, you bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts.
Your own phone number!
So find out how easy it is to switch to Mint Mobile and get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month.
Just do it!
To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/theories.
That's mintmobile.com/theories. mintmobile.com/theories. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/theories.
$45 upfront required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. All right, welcome back. Now, before we get into today's topic, there are a few things that we need to talk about. The first thing we need to discuss is sheep.
Sheep?
And I know that might sound weird, but it'll all make sense. Just trust the process. Okay. So, Dan, since you're an expert, they call him the herder, Asian herder. Can you start it off for us today and educate us on sheep?
Absolutely. So when it comes to sheep, a lot of people assume they are stupid. However, that is not the case. Sheep are almost as smart as pigs, which are considered one of the most intelligent mammals.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Pigs are extremely smart.
I knew pigs were, I just didn't know sheep were as well.
Now, sheep can recognize the faces of up to 50 other people or sheep, and they can even recognize their favorite caregivers. They communicate with each other not only by vocalization, but also using their scent glands that is located in their faces and hooves.
Also, sheep are said to experience many of the same emotions as humans, including fear, joy, boredom, anger, and happiness. I don't know about that last one. I haven't felt that in a while. Anyways, they are social animals and form deep and lasting bonds with each other. Don't know.
Yeah. Another thing is that sheep like to self-medicate, just like all of us. They have been observed seeking out plants and substances and then eating them to make themselves feel better. So needless to say, sheep are not dumb animals. They're actually pretty smart.
Another thing that we need to mention is that these animals have been domesticated for a very long time for their wool, meat, and milk. Have you had sheep milk?
Fuck no.
Me neither. They have been an important part of many cultures and economies for thousands of years.
So now that we have established sheep and how smart they are, let's get into what our topic is over today. The Great Sheep Panic of 1888. So Dan, can you start that off for us?
Oh yeah. So it all started on the night of November 3rd, 1888. In southern England, it was a typical night. All the farm animals in the area were secured in their pens or locked behind pasture gates. However, at around 8 p.m., the people around Oxfordshire began to hear the sounds of a stampede outside their homes.
Yeah, they were just sitting there and they're like, "Oi, you hear that noise?" And they heard it. It's like rumbling. And they were like, What is that? I'm trying to get me some sleep, and all I hear is rumbling. Is that Tommy Shelby outside? I'm Billy Kimber. No, they were like, "Hey, what the hell is that sound?" So they go up to the window. They open up the blinds, and there it is.
Danny Whizbang.
No, there it is. They notice something strange. Thousands and thousands of sheep just running around crazy. They were busting through their pens, barreling through fences, jumping over stone walls, and pretty much just tearing up the area and terrorizing anybody that was on the street. They were going around all crazy.
That following morning, the farmers that didn't wake up from the stampede were stunned as they discovered their flock of sheep had gone missing. Now, this didn't happen just in one small area or town, or just to one small flock of sheep. This was tens of thousands of sheep spread across a 200 square mile radius. Do you know how big a 200 mile square radius is?
Mm-hmm. It's 200 square miles of radius. That's how big it is.
Well, I looked it up.
Big as my wiener. Anyway, you looked it up? How big is it?
128,000 acres.
Good
then,
Lord.
Then you take that. 1 acre is about 75% of a American football field with the end zones.
Okay.
So think of 128,000 of those.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of land.
That's a lot of sheep.
That's a lot of sheep. And all those tens of thousands of sheep, all of a sudden, they all went berserk at the same time that night.
Now, these sheep were found miles away from their usual fields or pens or wherever they were kept. Some of them were hiding under bushes in sheer terror. Others were just standing in the middle of the street, frozen, not even moving. They're like, is that a statue? Did they install a new statue? And Billy was like, no, there's no statue. It's in the sheep on the side road, just stand there.
It's just a sheep.
Yeah. So they were very confused as to why these sheep were all acting oddly.
The farmers whose sheep were victims could not figure out what caused the sheep to go crazy like they did. One possible scenario that was mentioned is that maybe some troublesome children scared them off. Or just scared them.
Yeah. They got together and they're like, hey, all the farmers did. They're like, maybe some children. Children scared them.
It was their kids. I know it was them troublemakers.
Yeah. However,
Them Shelby's.
However, someone stated, how could children across villages all rile the sheep up so much that all the creatures broke through fences in sheer terror at the same time? Pretty much, how could all of the children scare all the sheep that were separated miles apart all at the same time? Doesn't make sense.
Kids could not be that coordinated.
Yeah, and all the farmers were like, oh, you know what? You have a point. It wasn't the children.
Other possible explanations discussed between the farmers was that maybe it was a loud clap of thunder, or maybe a drastic change in weather, vibrations from an earthquake, or maybe a meteor falling to the earth. All of those scenarios would cause the sheep to panic. Oh yeah, meteor falling. I'd panic.
I'd go get it. I'd sell it.
However, though, the farmers couldn't agree on an explanation, and due to this, two other farmers decided to send a letter.
Yeah. Two farmers named Oakshott and Millard decided to write a letter to the editor of a popular science gossip magazine, detailing the event and wondering if anyone could offer a plausible explanation. Basically, they wanted to tell the science gossip magazine, hey, we had some sheep go crazy. Any of those big brains over there that read this, that they know what's going on? Now, we do have this letter.
I do have a picture of the
Oh, look at that.
Hardwick's science gossip.
That's old as shit.
It is.
So we're going to go over the letter, and Dan's going to start it off for us. Now, before we get into that, we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. This episode is sponsored by Rocket Money. How much do you think you are paying in subscriptions every month? The answer is probably more than you think.
Over 74% of people have subscriptions that they've forgotten about.
How many?
Over 74% of people.
God dang. Did you forget about a subscription you had?
I definitely did. I forgot about Brazzers. It was free, but I still forgot about it.
Don't you hate that? Well, guess what? It won't happen to you ever again. Thanks to Rocket Money, we are no longer wasting money on the things that we forgot about in the heat of the moment.
Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so that you can grow your savings.
Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features.
Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/theories.
That's rocketmoney.com/theories. rocketmoney.com/theories. This episode is sponsored by Mint Mobile.
You know, I love a great deal as much as the next guy, but I'm not going to crawl through a bed of hot coals, burning my butt off just to save a few bucks.
For singeing your butthole hairs.
That's right. Shiny buttholes, there's no hair there.
Exactly.
It has to be easy. No hoops, no BS.
No bullshit?
No bullshit.
And I know exactly what you mean. I don't deal with that BS. So when I heard Mint Mobile said it was easy to get wireless for $15 a month with the purchase of a 3-month plan, I decided to pull up on their ass. Pull out my phone and see if they were about that life. And it turns out they really were. It is really that easy to get wireless for $15 a month.
The longest part of the process was the time I spent on hold waiting to break up with my old provider.
So to get started, all you got to do is go to mintmobile.com/theories. There, you'll see that right now, all 3-month plans are only $15 a month, including the unlimited plan. Just do it!
All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network.
Largest 5G!
You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile. With any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts.
Your own phone number!
So find out how easy it is to switch to Mint Mobile and get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month.
Just do it!
To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/theories.
That's mintmobile.com/theories. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/theories.
$45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. All right, welcome back. And Dan's going to start it off for us.
I beg to call attention to a remarkable circumstance which occurred in this immediate locality on the night of Saturday, November 3rd. At a time as near 8 o'clock as possible, the tens of thousands of sheep folded in large sheep breeding districts north, east, and west of Reading were taken with a sudden fright, jumping their hurdles, escaping from the fields, and running hither and thither, and there must for some time have been a perfect stampede.
Early on Sunday morning, the shepherds found the animals under hedges and in roads, panting as if they have been terror-stricken. The extent of the occurrence may be judged from the mention that every large farmer from Wallingford, on the other hand, to Twyford, on the other, has reported that his sheep were similarly frightened. And it is also noteworthy that with 2 or 3 exceptions, the hill country north of Thames seems to have been principally affected, aka everywhere around was affected.
We have not heard, nor can any of the farmers give any reasonable explanation of the facts we have described. The night was intensely dark, with occasional flashes of lightning, but we scarcely think the latter circumstance would account for such a widespread effect.
We would suggest the probability of a slight earthquake being the cause. But perhaps you or some of your readers of science gossip may be able to offer a more satisfactory explanation. Sincerely, Oakshott Millard. That was it.
So after this letter was published, a lot of experts began to give their opinion. Eventually, they could not determine the cause of the sheep panic of 1888, and to add even more confusion, is a similar panic occurred in 1889 and then again in 1893. In the 2 following sheep panics, farmers were again unable to determine the cause of the sudden panic attack that swept across the land.
And that right there is pretty much the Great Sheep Panic of 1888. However, just like every week, our episode does not stop here, because now we are going to get into the strange facts and findings that we uncovered while researching this topic.
Alright, so our first strange fact and finding is about what happened in Oxfordshire again in 1893, but this is from the science gossip that was written in 1921, I believe. Now, on the night of December 4th, 1893, another event occurred in northern and middle parts of Oxfordshire that extended into parts of Warwick, Gloucester, and Berks.
According to one report, it was around 8 or 9 p.m. when a thick and heavy darkness came on. That if you had to put your hand out in front of you, you would not be able to see it. That's how dark it was.
That's kind of scary sounding.
Another witness wrote that a little before 8 p.m., there was an extraordinary black cloud traveling from northwest to southeast, which appeared to be rolling along the ground. Oh shit, this is alien. This is big-ass alien shit.
The darkness lasted 30 or 40 minutes, and during that time, it was like being shut up in a dark room. That is when the sheep broke out of their pen and into the fields, going all over the place again.
It is known that animals can see better than humans during the night, but it's believed that this darkness was so thick that the sheep probably could not see either and was frightened by that. Then a naturalist, Oliver Vernon Apglin, investigated this event and was able to find out some interesting details from witnesses that said differently about that night.
One of the witnesses that contacted him, Mr. Nealed, wrote, and we quote, "Another man at Finstop is said to have seen a wonderful meteor shower at the same hour. Mr. Calvert thought it might have been caused by a sudden electrical or phosphorescent light playing fitfully on the ground, a sort of will-o'-the-wisp."
Mr. J. Close of Dunthrop, Chipping Norton, thought it was an electric disturbance, as we had strong lightning during the night afterwards. There were also other reports of this phosphorescent light, but I have met with no thoroughly satisfactory evidence of it.
And it may be pointed out that if it was the general cause of the panic all over the Great Effect District, it would certainly have been actually seen by many of the numerous people who must have been out of the doors during the early part of the night the panic took place.
The same may be said of the supposed meteor, and upon this point it is instructive to observe that the extraordinarily and brilliant meteor which attracted so much attention on the night of January 26, 1894, and as noticed in the papers, even when the sky was covered with dense clouds, illuminated the whole landscape with a light so bright that objects became nearly as visible as in ordinary daylight, was not accompanied or followed by panic among the sheep. So pretty much he's saying that, first of all, holy fuck, that was a long run-on sentence. And it just seems like back then people just added in words to sound smart.
The English definitely was not as smooth, I guess.
Yeah, but it sounded like he investigated.
He investigated it, and a lot of people said that it was just extremely dark, but then some said that it was actually bright because of all the other shit going on. There was a meteor shower, then there was lightning, and then the moon possibly was shining so bright, stuff like that. I don't know.
A lot of shit going on.
A lot of shit going on.
Kind of sounded like maybe a UFO came in. Maybe that big dark cloud was a UFO and brought in all the lightning and all the bad weather, and it came in the cloud that was
like Independence Day.
Yeah, that was cloaking the UFO, cloaked the town, and the sheep saw the aliens and they're like, "Fuck this!"
So that was that strange fact and finding. The next one we have is about an incident involving 2 dogs and 200 sheep.
Jesus.
This is one that you said something about, and I'm like, that can't be real. And it was. In 1987, in the rugged mountains of Santa Susana Mountain, above Chatsworth, nearly 200 sheep fell 200 feet to their deaths when they were chased off a cliff by 2 dogs.
2 of the sheep that fell survived, but they were so badly injured that they had to be put down. The sheep were a part of a flock of 1,000 that were tended by a sheep herder who lives in a camper on the land, and I bet he was pissed.
Oh, he was. The sheep herder said it was about 7:30 a.m. when 2 dogs, one black and one brown, described as a mixed shepherd breed, began barking and attacking his sheep. He was able to get most of the sheep, the other 800, away from the dogs, but the others were separated by the dogs and went into a panic.
As they were scurrying away in panic, not knowing where they were being chased towards, the sheep headed towards the cliff and just continued going, just going right off of it. And that right there is an example of pretty much like the sheep panicking and then acting as a flock, running, not knowing where they're going, and just going.
Follow him, he knows the way.
Speaking of messed up, our next strange fact and finding is called circle jerk, also known as weird sheep behavior. If you click that link down below,
The bottom one?
why do I have Bruce Jenner pulled up on this? Actually, it's the third link. So back in November of 2022, a video was posted online, which actually it was posted on Twitter, and it was by the news outlet run by the Chinese state called People's Daily, and it shared an eerie video on Twitter, which is now X, of dozens of sheep in China's Inner Mongolian region, strolling, just walking around in a tight, perfect circle for over 10 days. 10. And they don't know why. It's a mystery.
Dude, that is a perfect circle. And it's like sheep just randomly join in. Which, can we add that video on here without being copy strike?
I mean, yeah, we can show up. Just no audio or anything. We'll
Yeah. We'll toss it on there for you to look at. Yeah, it means a short little 22-second clip, and they're just in circles.
Yeah. That's weird. Sheep are weird.
I want to say there's another one, but that's the same one. Yeah, there's another one. That first link you had on there, the YouTube one.
Oh, yeah.
Sheep Possessed by Aliens, it's called. Which we can't show this one because it'd be copyright.
Yeah, we'll have a link for it on our website.
But yeah, if you go to 32 seconds, there's a picture of it.
Yeah, it just shows sheep walking in a circle.
There's like a perfect circle that they're walking in.
You're saying that they're controlled by aliens? That's a little out there.
Very interesting, though.
All right, so let's get on to our next strange fact and finding, which is about an individual in May of this year being arrested for trying to take genetic material to clone and create giant sheep.
Now, before we get into that, we are going to take a quick break. This is our last one, so don't go nowhere. All right, welcome back. An 80-year-old man named Arthur Jack Scubarth of Vaughn, Montana, is the owner and operator of Sun River Enterprises, LLC, also known as Scubarth Ranch. It could be Schubarth, I'm going Scubarth. This ranch is a 215-acre alternative livestock ranch in Montana.
The ranch is engaged in the purchase, sale, and breeding of alternative livestock, such as mountain sheep, mountain goats, and various other animals. The primary market for Arthur's livestock is captive hunting operations, also known as shooting preserves or game ranches. Yeah, that's where he sells all his livestock to.
According to court documents, Arthur conspired with at least 5 other individuals between 2013 and 2021 to create a larger hybrid species of sheep that would garner higher prices from shooting preserves. Arthur brought parts of the largest sheep in the world, Marco Polo Argali sheep, from Kyrgyzstan into the United States without declaring their importation.
Marco Polo Argali are native to the